So let's begin. So you're fortunate because you have Common Poland, the conference, happening for these 2 days, and we've brought iBelieve. So why did you come to see this part of iBelieve? Why were you here? Why did you come for iBelieve? Who believes? It's a very strange concept, and one of the problems that we have in trying to promote IBMI, the platform, is that a lot of us call it by a different name. How many people called it this week iSeries? iSeries, who used iSeries this week? Who used AS400 this week? Well, we don't celebrate AS400 anything other than history. So if you're using it today, then one of you is talking about something in the past, another one is talking about another thing, and the rest of us are talking about IBMI. It's important if somebody's looking in from the outside to see that we're all together, that we're one community. If we're one community talking about IBMI, then that's fabulous. And so part of today is to understand what this is. What is the platform? And to understand it and to spread the word. When you go and talk to somebody who's not in this community, what do you say? I write RPG on AS400? That would sort of think that we were a little old. Who here is under 35 years old? Okay, excellent. One person and one liar up the back. Who's under 45? Yeah, a couple of people. Who's under 75? And there are people who didn't put their hand up, so I know some of you are 150, right? Or did not understand me. The problem we have is that we have a community that is getting older. And one of the things we've forgotten what to do is to have the passion for the platform. When the 36 and the 38 became the 400, what did you call it? The 400. When System I and System P became power systems, what did you call it? The 400. We went back in time. And yet something changed bigger with I and P than it did with 36 and 38. So something amazing happened, huge, but we can't get past our old stuff. So today is a bit of a nudge and a bit of fun, and you'll learn a lot of things about our platform that you didn't expect. For example, it runs on power. We are an operating system, so I'm going to talk about that today. So how is today going to go? Well, part of it is this. There's nothing that says what iBelieve is, so today I'm going to suggest that we celebrate the platform. Who's for celebrating? Anybody? Yes, excellent. How about finding out what can be done? A bit of learning, yes? Who wants to learn? And how about some reminiscing, talking about the past? Yes, that's good. That's part of why we're here, for networking, correct? How many of you know everybody who's here? Who knows everyone? Waldeck, I guess, right? Yes, he knows everyone, right? He knows their middle name. He knows their children's name. Wife's name. I don't know who your wife is. We're going to share the passion and we'll renew our commitment to this platform. iBelieve was reported on in the news, and Dan Berger from IT Jungle said that's an enthusiastic exercise in advocacy. Who's enthusiastic? Apparently me. Part of it is we sit on our behinds all day in a class like this, and you can't get enough coffee to keep you awake, right? And that's part of it we're going to enjoy today. It's a one-day participatory theater, which means you will be involved in the photos, you'll be involved in asking questions. He also said it's all about IBMI business value, and that's good, correct? We like to see what business value we have because our businesses look at us and say it's old. We want to show them it's got value, that it's up to date, that it's modern. Integration with cloud and mobile, and also keeping your skills modern. Who uses SEU to code with? SEU, green screen editing. Yes? Why? Because you can. I spoke to some students in Austria 2 days ago, and they said, actually it was last week sometime, I don't remember, and they said, well, the old guys said, well, we know how to do it. We've been doing it for 20 years. But something went whizzing by them and you didn't get on that proper bus, right? What you know is something very small. You know it really well. You're a genius, but you're a genius in a bottle. And we need to change our world so that we're doing things that would attract a student. If you bring a student to your company and say, learn, and you show them green screen, what will they say? And you will never have them work for you. So you need to get up to speed yourself. And that's hard for old people. Who's an old people? We're old people and we're stuck. And we need to get the passion back and learn. And so that's some of our challenges. Steve Pitcher for MC Press wrote this. He said, it's hard to really know what it's about. You have to come to it. The most important thing that Steve said was that you understand what you can get out of this platform. And then he said, but when you go home, it's up to you. We can talk about it for a day, and it's fun, and it's fabulous, and you'll enjoy it tremendously. But when you go home, what do? I had a conference last year, and I spoke about RPG open access. And a man came to my class, and he said, it was fabulous. I'm going to go and do it again. Right now, I'm going to do it. A year later, I presented the same session, and he came back, and he said, I did nothing in a year. How many of you are doing the same thing this year than you did 5 years ago? Think about it, because you do. We do. We code the same way. What's happened in 5 years? We've had iPad, we've had iPhone, we've had new users, new interfaces. We've got people who don't even know what a green screen is. How many of you have an application that says press the F15 key? What key is the F15 key? It's not on a keyboard in 2014. But we still tell them to do it, right? And what do they say? I have to count. 12 minus 15 is, oh, it's the F. I have no idea. So we ask the users to do things the same as we did 5, 10 years ago, and we have to stop. And so part of it is celebrating, but you have to change when you go home. So this is your plea to do that. So how we're going to start this today is we're going to start with these speakers for the track that is the iBelieve track. Dr. Frank will talk to us about design for the cloud and tell us how this platform was really suited for the cloud from the very beginning. We will then have Paul Hodgkinson, who will talk about successes and failures in projects of modernization. You all in the business of modernization. That's our job. That's what we do. And we can easily fall into success, and then often we can fall into failure, and he will talk about that. We'll have Alison Butterill from IBM. She is the IBMI product manager. How cool is that, that you guys have the actual owner of the product in IBM here today? Anybody have a question for Alison? No, they all know everything, Alison. They're geniuses. Excellent. So you go to sleep. Sit up the back and go to sleep. And then we have Matthew Ashton talking about high availability with disaster recovery and backup, etc., and how that is and how that's related to IBMI and the cloud. And then we'll have a speaker panel. So think of your questions as we go through the day and come up with that speaker panel. Because if you don't have questions, I get to ask them. Yes. And then I'll come along and talk about IBMI, how it is the best choice, how it is a modern platform, it's the best choice for your business, and give you some ammunition to go back to your companies with and show how IBMI is the best choice. So that's how we're going to do today. Who's ready? Who believes? One person. Okay. I like your stance. It's like, I'm not going to learn a thing. Nothing. Who believes? That's better. You guys are going to just. So, we need to talk to some people outside of this room. So let's talk about what is this thing called I. The platform is actually named I. It's an operating system running on a piece of hardware called Power. It's not a very good name, so IBM told us to use IBM I. That's what we refer to it as. And if you notice, our logo is for business. If you look at Power and what we can run, IBM I is for business. We don't run Linux to run our business. We don't run AIX to run our business. We run IBM I. So is that good? That's a good motto and a good logo. That's fabulous. There's our family tree. Some of you are up there, back there, right? Some of you may still have a box that old, but you can't do very much with it. And I'm going to talk about that as well. And this family tree is quite amazing. Come on, move along. There it is. That's our recent family history, and that Power Systems came to us in 2008. That's 6 years ago, and in IT, that's a lifetime. But that's our platform. It's not System I, it's not iSeries, it's not AS400, it's IBM I, the operating system running on Power Systems hardware. And that's the same as AIX, Linux, and Watson. Watson also runs on this platform, and that's a very good marketing ploy for us. If we want to go somewhere, we can say, what's Watson? Watson is IBM I's little sister. So IBM I on Power Systems, currently on Power 8. And to get our day kicked off and started, we're going to have Dr. Frank talk to us, if I can press the right button, maybe I have to get closer, on how our platform was designed from the very beginning for the cloud. So please welcome Dr. Frank.